Hey everyone, Alex here from Japanese Masters, and today we are going to cover Minna no Nihongo Lesson 2, Part 5, that is Noun 1, no Noun 2. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right on into this. Okay, if you remember from the first lesson of Minna no Nihongo, we had a Noun 1, no Noun 2 section as well. Today, all we're going to do is cover one more way that you can use the no when connecting Noun 1 and Noun 2. So what we're going to be covering today is when you use noun 1, no noun 2, the translation becomes noun 2 about noun 1. This might sound a little bit confusing right now, but don't worry, when we get to the examples, it'll make perfect sense. Let's start, however, by breaking this down a little bit. So our noun 1, this is going to be the noun that gives what the noun 2 is about. So, for example, if you said you had a book about Japanese, your noun 1 is going to be the Japanese part of that, the end part of it. Then your noun 2 is going to be the object you're talking about. So that would be your book. So your book would be the object you're talking about. And what is this book about? It is about Japanese. That's your noun 1. And then the no is our connective particle. Again, what we learned in Minna no Nihongo Lesson 1. And it's going to be used to connect these nouns. And like I said also in the last one, it can also be used to normalize verbs, but that is in a later lesson. Okay, let's go ahead and go through a couple of example sentences for this. The first one is, this is a class about cars. これは車のクラスです. Okay, the first thing that I want to talk about is that we have kuruma. Kuruma is the word for car in Japanese, and then kurasu is the loan word for class. It sounds very much like the English word class because it is just changed into katakana. And then now we have our structure. Like I said before, we have class about cars. So the no in this instance is kind of acting as about. And then we have our kuras, kurasu is our class, and that is right there. And then cars is over here. So if you notice, they kind of crisscross a little bit with this. That happens with this structure, even though in a lot of instances it doesn't need to crisscross, but we'll see that in the next example. But for now, just know that your noun 1 and your noun 2 are actually going to flip when they switch to English. And then, of course, we have our this, which is kore, and then our classic noun 1, wa, noun 2, des structure with our wa and our des. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next example. So this one is, he has a textbook about science. Now, when I said that they have to crisscross, and sometimes they don't actually have to crisscross when you translate it, this is what I'm talking about. A textbook about science can actually just be shortened to science textbook. A lot of these can just be shortened to the English version that is just the two nouns together, but I left them in the more direct translation way just so that it's a little bit easier for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and break the sentence down. The first word that we have is kagaku. This means science in Japanese. And then the next one we have is kyokasho. That is textbook in Japanese. And then motteimasu. This is the present progressive form, or the ing form of the verb motsu, which means to have or to hold. It is kind of related to the verb arimasu, but this one is like someone is literally physically holding it. So this sentence translates to, he has a textbook about science. O kare wa kagaku no kyokasho o motteimasu. Yeah, so again, you see our structure right here. We have our noun 1 and our noun 2. And if you do it the direct translation way, you see that again, they crisscross right here. If you, however, do it the more colloquial version in English, then they don't crisscross, because then you have science on the left, and then you have textbook on the right. And yet again, this the no, it kind of symbolizes the word about here. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the final example. Our final example is, this is a meeting on sales. Yet again, this can be shortened to, this is a sales meeting. But I wanted to put the on here to emphasize that this doesn't exactly mean anything in English. Like, it can mean on and it can mean about. Basically, this no is just connecting the two together, just like Minna no Nihongo Lesson 1, except this is a more specific case of it. But the sentence overall is, kore wa uriage no kaigi desu. This is a meeting on sales. Or this could be, this is a meeting about sales, or this is a sales meeting. The translation to English isn't totally exact, but all three of them work. The first one right here is uriage. This means sales. It can also be written as u, and then the ri can go here, and then the ge can go here after the up kanji. But sometimes it is just shortened to the sell kanji and the up kanji without the okurigana at the end of it. That is the hiragana after the kanji. Okay, next we have our kaigi. This means meeting in Japanese. And you should know the rest of the words from the sentence, as in kore is our this, and then again we have our wa and des structure making the is in the sentence. Okay, so that is it for the lesson today. I hope that makes sense to you. The real basic sense is that this is another way to connect two nouns together. It's just a more specific way when you're talking about what something is about, or basically the category that something is. So a book on Japanese, a book on computers, a book on painting, something like that. You can use the no to connect those two nouns together. I hope you found this lesson helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. Other than that, I will see you next lesson. Keep studying Japanese. All right, everyone. See ya.